What is up? What is up? What is up? Another Victory Monday for the Washington Commanders on your favorite YouTube channel. But we kind of leave with a scare. Jayden Daniels, what's the update with your boy? We talk about the defense. We talk about the game yesterday. Talk about the crowd experience. And we get ready for Chicago Bears next Sunday. But is Jayden going to play? A lot to discuss on Owning the Huddle podcast.
I know it looks like CeeLo is at a hotel, but he disappeared. I don't know exactly where he is. But Breeze, what's good, man?
What's good?
There you go.
Good. Is he back? Is he still
He
frozen?
trying to slide around the camera. Welcome back to Owning the Huddle podcast. Brother Deuce is here. He's here to defend his O-line. I'm getting sick and tired of you dudes and this fan base talking about my O-line. We gonna handle this today.
Welcome to Owning the Huddle podcast presented on the Red Zone DC Media, Red Zone in the Lab. We got your boy CeeLo. What's good, CeeLo?
Man, it's been a crazy Victory Monday, man. It's going well. So much going on. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, most definitely. Where do we start actually? Do we start with the biggest topic or do we just start with, because it's still Victory Monday, right? Still Victory Monday. We win by 33 points. That's the most we've seen in a while. Took care of business. I think we saw the defense starting to come out life a little bit. We saw some plays, you know what I'm saying? But
yes, indeed.
I think right now, man, let's just go ahead. Let's go ahead and get to the main topic at hand real quick, because everybody's talking about it. Jayden Daniels. Jayden left after the first series of the first drive. Word came out now. It is reported that it is a rib injury. He did get dinged up on the 46-yard scamper on the first play of the game. And were you at the game, CeeLo? I don't know if you were at the game or not.
Yeah.
Okay, you were at the game. So immediately, me watching it on TV, the way he got flipped, I automatically was definitely concerned because it was very awkward to see on TV. And he was already, and the way it was looking like he was already trying to slide at least, but the momentum led him and he just got flipped. So that definitely scared me a little bit. But then once I started to see like they were still running him a little bit, and then he fell down, that's when I knew. I said, okay, something ain't right. But it's crazy thing is, man, as a Washington fan, the PTSD it kicked in, but then listening to the press conference with Dan Quinn today, discussing and giving us an update, I think my mind has cooled off a bit. And I say this because they understand that there's things bigger than just a football game that's coming up on Sunday. Right? They don't care about CBS viewmanship. They don't care about how many views the game get. This regime cares about the long-term success and their expectations they have. And it all starts with Jayden Daniels at the helm. And I think that is a difference from everybody brings up. We know we talk about 2012 with Robert, but this is an extremely, extremely different situation based on the person itself and the people in the front office and at the head coaching spot. They all have a plan, and they already know they're not trying to repeat history again. So I'm going to commend Dan Quinn. I'm going to commend the medical team. They're going to take this slow and understand that, hey, look, if he missed, I know we're going a little bit farther with this, but that's part of the conversation now. If he missed this game, it's not the end of the world, because at the end of the day, you need him from 2024 and beyond, not
Yep.
just 2024.
I agree, man. I think as long as they listen to the doctors, Dan listens, and Cliff sees how he progresses through practice. If he practices, if he's not right, sit him. It's that simple. You're like, why even, if he's 80% or 70%, if he's just not right and not himself, and he can't do the things that makes Jayden, why even bother, man? You got to go ahead and make sure that dude is healthy, as healthy as he can be, right? Because no one's like 100% healthy, but generally speaking, like your ribs are working, that kind of thing. That's how they should look at this. You make a good point, man. Like, no one wants to talk about this part, but in 2012, I'm of the opinion they probably should have set Robert and had him going to the ninth right away. In hindsight, I know we were excited about the run and all that kind of stuff, but he's, give him that extra 3-4 months to go ahead and get healed up, and he can go ahead and, or maybe it's another 2 months, but go ahead and start the rehab and get prepared for 2013, because in theory, you want that to be your franchise guy, or at least your long-term starter for as long as possible, instead of trying to shoot for tomorrow. So there's a balance, right? You want to go all in as best you can, but not at the sake of somebody's health. So yeah, man, I think I trust Dan and Adam and all that, all that front office and medical crew to do the right thing. It doesn't seem to be that. I mean, we've seen rib injuries before. They can, they recover. Just take some rest, and he'll be fine. And just give him some time to get back healthy. Depends how quickly he heals and move on. So I think I was in this, like you said, I was in the stadium, and actually, because you know how it is, if you're in the stadium, they don't talk about anything. It's just basics. It's just, hey, it's third and 10, 4th and 1. They don't give you the updates of like all of the goings-ons on the sideline. But I'm a geek, right? So I'm looking, I got my little binoculars, I'm like looking at, and I'm like, Jayden looked like he off, because after that one run towards the, like you said, the keeper he did towards the in the red zone, and the way he fell over, I'm like, oh, that looked a little weird. And so I looked over after they hit the field goal, and he like is going into the blue tent. I'm like, oh, he's in the blue tent. And then he came out and started trying to throw her a little bit. He threw like 2 or 3 passes. He was like wincing, and he was like, nah. And he walked back over, and and I'm pretty sure you saw the rest of it on TV. So anyway, the stadium didn't really know until I told my section, like the group of folks that I was with. It was like, what? And then it kind of got a little quiet for a bit, and then it kind of, we got back up after a couple of defensive stops. So it was very emotional, up and down roller coaster at the game, because you just don't get that much information. But we won real big, and ended up being a good game overall. So yeah, man, I agree with you. Everything you said, I agree. Hopefully they'll do this thing the right way.
Yeah, definitely don't want to risk anything that could be long term or affect anything in some shape or form. I think they need to take care of this the right way. And I think for fans, like, hey, they said it's week to week. So I think to me, it's kind of different from saying day to day. And when you have like a rib injury like that, that typically it varies, daily. Like, what I'm saying, one day you could be feeling good, and then the next day you just feel completely horrible, or you could be leaning, things like that. And I think, we'll see the pain tolerance for Jayden. He's, obviously we talked about his size and stuff during the draft process, but obviously, when you look at him, he's not really that big of a person. So let's see how he looks with that overall. But I think, whatever decision they make will be based on Jayden, man. Like if Jayden is if Jayden is good and he's feel like he's good enough to play, it's not bothering him much. You let your best player play, obviously. But if we know that it is lingering, it is causing some problems, there's a reason. No, it's funny. There is a reason why they got a backup with similar skill sets. And we saw that when immediately we signed Mariota, that it kind of showed that they were going to draft Jada in that process. But Breeze, what's going on?
Yo.
Oh.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? I'm finally here. Long day.
Yeah. So I mean, what my thing with this, and you can hop in as well. So obviously, we know the bigger topic is with Jayden Daniels' injury. I think I've came to the consensus already today that if he is healthy, he shows that he is healthy, you let your best player play. But if he's not, you protect him because this is a different situation from all the people who still suffer from PTSD from 2012 with ownership and with a coaching staff that understands this is all for the long-term future.
Mm-hmm.
So where are you at with this?
So I feel like I'm kind of along the lines with you. My only hang up is that with that particular area, we don't know whether it's, rib cartilage or, bruise or no bleed. We don't know. We know the area, but we don't know what the actual injury is. And to play quarterback, that's a lot of twisting and torquing and turning with your body, which is that area is very sensitive. So it's not just a pain tolerance thing. It's more of like, can you physically turn your body to play, to throw the football? But I think if Jayden is healthy, I mean, I think you play Jayden. I will say that regardless of whatever his status is on game day, Caleb Williams will not be a part of that decision. Like, it's not going to be a situation where we got to play Jayden because it's Caleb. Like, that's not going to be a part of it. But I think pain tolerance is the easy, or pain management is the easy part. But is there a chance that he could make the injury worse, or it can prolong the injury if he gets hit in the wrong spot? I think that's going to factor more into it. But if he's able to play and shows that he can play, I think you got to play Jayden.
And sorry, to add on to that, the type of player Jayden is, I think also contributes to that decision. Like, he's just not a drop back passing type of quarterback. He uses his body, he uses his legs, he moves around a lot. I mean, that's going to be something they got to test out, whether it's pregame, whether it's throughout the week. If he can't be the Jayden that we all know him to be, I don't think he's going to be very effective. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I just feel like maybe this is another, and I think some people say maybe this is part of Jayden's like legacy, right? Like maybe he can adjust his game, and all of a sudden, you know what, he can be a drop back passer. I don't know, but it just feels like the way that they constructed this game plan and Cliff constructed his offense, even with Marcus back there. I mean, they running keepers. I mean, that
the first play that Jayden was out, Marcus runs the ball like, yo,
and he runs somebody over with his shoulder. I'm like, this is a big part of that game plan. So you kind of need your ribs and stuff like that. And them defenders going to go for the ribs. I'm just saying.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think if you go into the game, if you pregame, whatever, if through your game planning process, if you have to change the way you call plays, or Jayden has to change the way he plays football because of his injury, then you don't play him. Like, you want Jayden Daniels to be Jayden Daniels. You don't,
right.
you know what I mean? Like, you don't buy a Ferrari to keep it in first gear. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna put it on the road and let's go 100 with it. So what's up, Troy? What's up? So yeah, if Jayden can be Jayden, then you play him. If he is 70-75% and you're worried about him getting hit here, or you can't call this play in a situation that you would normally call, then you don't play him. You keep Marcus in there, and Marcus, albeit versus a bad team, Marcus showed that he can be more than serviceable in this offense with Cliff Kingsbury, cooking the way he's been cooking so far.
Yeah, and Mariota, he performed well. I mean, obviously he started off slow, and I think people also have to remember outside of training camp, he was hurt for those preseason games. So Driscoll took majority of the snaps during the training camp session whatsoever, and now we're seeing Mario the first couple of passes. Obviously, we were like, "Oh my god, this is about to be a game." He was like, but I think once he started to get in rhythm during like the 2 minute portion of the second quarter, you started to see the offense start to click. We started to see the ball move. Started to see it being more efficient again. So if Mariota has to play on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you with Mariota running off?
If you had to ask me this question before yesterday, like 40, if you asked me this question 48 hours ago, I'm terrified at the idea of it. Now, I'm kind of open to it. I'm, again, only if he has to play because
Yeah.
Jayden is hurt and cannot be himself. But I think, between Marcus being a veteran quarterback, Cliff being, a veteran play caller and kind of in his bag right now, they can call an offense to suit Marcus, well enough to get by.
Yeah.
Can we my fault.
Then go ahead.
Can we pull up Troy's comment real quick? The last one. I just want to. I don't know if y'all might have touched on that before I got here. That topic, that one. So Troy. So no. So did y'all touch on this topic at all before
Nope.
I got here? Okay.
I touched on it a little bit, but
Okay.
Breeze, to me, it looked like he was trying to slide. It looked like he was trying
Yeah.
to slide, but
So if you watch the replay, right, you see around the 24, 25 yard line, he cuts back. In that mind, he's like, okay, I'm at that point, I'm trying to score, right? Around the 40 or 50 yard line, you see, I don't remember the defender's name off the top of my head right now, what number he was, but you see the guy kind of grab at Jayden's shoulder. You see Jayden give him like a little half-ass stiff arm, like a little get off me, one of them things, right? Maybe 5 yards later, Jayden kind of realized that, oh, I'm caught. And if you look, you can see him drop to a knee. He tries to slide. The problem is that there was somebody 2 steps behind him who at the exact moment was kind of reaching for what would have been Jayden's waist. And the minute he drops down to a knee, you're now hitting him in the back of his shoulders, and that folds his body up. And that's kind of what ended up happening to kind of crunch him up and hit his ribs. But if you look at the replay, you can see, at least to me, it looks like Jayden is trying to slide. And it wasn't a, sliding the home plate kind of thing. You know what I mean? It was one of them ugly slides, but he was trying to get down once he realized he wasn't going to get caught. Once he realized he wasn't going to break free of whoever that was trying to tackle him.
Yeah, and to that same point, man, I these are the kind of plays I hate doing, the Monday morning quarterback or the shoulda, coulda, woulda. Is like, I think that's really tough in a split second situation. But what I took for this whole thing, Jayden was outrunning everybody at Florida, and all these SEC schools. He's not the fastest dude on the field anymore. It's not that obvious. He probably has some guys that can keep. That's exactly what happened. And so he cut that thing inside. I think I got this. I'm about to end. Like, oh, they're right behind me. And then he had to make a decision, business decision. He probably should have kept going towards the sideline. And you know what happens in the sideline? He just goes out of bounds, and nobody touches him, and he lives to see another play. But he tried to cover it inside, thought he was going to take off. He couldn't take off because 35 was literally right there behind him. And so, that speed is different in the NFL and more parity. And then it's football. The rest is like, it's just football. You fall awkward. People get crunched up. It's just, you can't plan that, whether it's sliding, not sliding. He could land on the ball. It really doesn't matter what he decided to do. It's just football at that point. So I really don't like, going back to stuff like that, because it's just, you just can't control how those things occur.
And to your point, CeeLo, hindsight being 2020, right? If Jayden, when he first burst out the pocket, and rather than cutting back inside, rather than cutting back inside with the first defender, if he slides right there and we look at the replay, we're like, damn, Jayden could have ran for another 40 yards. Then we looking like he left a play on the field. I'm saying hindsight is 2020. He was trying to make a
Right.
football play, and from what I
Right.
can tell, he was trying to get down and just perfect moment, right at the exact time he dropped, got hit, and got folded up. But I mean,
Right.
this is what makes Jayden Daniels is that ability to extend that play and get 40, 50 yards. Had he broke it 90 yards to the crib, half of FedEx Field would have blown off. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, oh, excuse me,
Right.
Northwest Stadium would have blown off. Like, hindsight is 2020. Of course, you want him to protect himself, but he's done a good job this season of not taking big hits. He's playing football, so he's going to get hit. I need y'all to get that out of your mind, the idea that he's never going to get touched. He's going to get hit, right? When he comes back, he's going to get hit. In the preseason, he took like 1 or 2 shots in the preseason. Week 2, he got hit. Like, he's going to get hit. He's playing football, but he's not just letting people tee off on him for no reason. Like, he's trying to protect himself.
I mean, maybe he's the fastest guy, but it's not by much. It's not like he looked, in
like
college.
LSU.
It's not. The delta is very small, so maybe he's the fastest. But man, if somebody's running, if he runs a 4.3, someone's running a 4.32. It's just a diff. You can tell these guys were not, letting up in terms of track speed, but it is what it is, man. That's football. It's unfortunate. Let's hope he gets fully healthy, and we back at it next week or the week after.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think another thing a lot of people were saying too, like even with that play, they felt like he should have stayed to the outside instead of cutting in. But I feel like when it comes to things like that, it's hard to tell someone what they've been doing all their life, what they should do in the moment. Like
that's memory, bro.
Immediately, like he made that cut, I felt like Jayden felt like he was going to be able to score.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can't control that,
Yep.
now and stuff. I mean, it happens. Like he made that cut. I was like, okay, he might score. But then the other angle to Deuce's point, once he saw that kind of changed. But it's not like it was a very critical injury. Like we're talking about probably bruised ribs or oblique or of some sorts. But nevertheless, I think we still have to let Jayden be Jayden. Like the reason why he was drafted was not only he has improved, but he is literally what Dan Quinn said, an explosive playmaker as a passer and as a runner.
And you want him to be that. You don't want to neutralize him or minimize him and take that away from him. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is, bro. He's a football player. Like I said, he's playing football. He's going to get hit. He's going to get hurt. Like you show me a football player who's never gotten hurt, and I'll show you somebody that never got on the field. Like it's part of football, bro. Like I get it, but like you don't want Jayden playing scared and playing to not get hurt because a lot of times that's when you end up getting hurt.
Right.
Like,
right.
Well, I think in the coming days we'll find out more about the health of Jayden Daniels if he's going to suit up for.
Also, I'm sorry. Before we move on, I feel like, and y'all can chime in if if you want to agree or disagree. I feel like them waiting until the third quarter to rule him out was intentional, right? If this was a closer game versus a better team, I think Jayden tries to come back into this game. Now maybe he can't do it, but I think he tries. The fact that they were up 27 points or whatever was okay, bro. Sit down. We don't need you. Go ahead, take that off. You good? I think that was I think that factored into it. Now he'd have woke up today pretty sore, you know what I mean? And had he tried to do it, but I think had that been Chicago, Philly, Dallas, Pittsburgh, like those better teams on our schedule, I think he would have made an attempt to try to come back into the game after halftime.
I agree. I agree. I talked to my dad about it yesterday. Like I felt like if the game was like 10-14, 10-7, 7-7, I think there'd been more of an effort to get him back out there because when you looked at him, it didn't look like nothing was hurt or whatsoever. But I think everything will be good, man. I think once he just see on Wednesday everything looking will be good to go. Either he plays or he doesn't play. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Longevity.
Yeah. Longevity and a long-term goal. But nevertheless, man, since you guys were out there at the game, I just give everybody a vibe check for not only another win at Northwest, but the retirement ceremony of number 28 Daryl Green's jersey. Just tell me how everything was from y'all perspective.
I gotta defer to CeeLo. Unfortunately, I was not able to make yesterday. I had all three of my children with me, and I was occupied being a daddy yesterday. So I gotta defer to CeeLo.
Yeah, man, it was excellent. It was excellent. I got out there for tailgate. Probably the earliest I've been to a tailgate because it's a 4 o'clock game. But man, it was packed. It was packed. It was probably 95% of us in there. I didn't see hardly any blue jerseys. There's a few, but not noticeably. And it just was electric, man. We were loud the entire time. Definitely, and like I said earlier, before you got on, Breeze, like my section, you know how in the stadium you don't know what's going on unless you really pay attention into certain things. And so no one really knew he was out the game because he finished that drive. So it wasn't until I kind of had the, I'm a geek, right? So I had little binoculars and I saw him going into the blue tent. I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely not feeling right. And he tried to throw a couple times. So I think that took sell out a little bit in the stadium for a moment. I think we got the Forbes interception and they kind of went right back up. So I felt like the entire experience, man, was beautiful. It was just it felt like we had a true home field advantage. Is how I would classify it, man. It was a really good energy there.
I mean, watching on TV, it felt live. Like it felt like I heard, the crowd, having, being in the stadium, every week at this point. Like when Brian Robinson came in the game, like I heard the crowd pick up and get loud when B-Rob came in the game, and when Fowler got the interception and was running back, like I heard the crowd pop, like, you know what I'm saying, like trying to envision myself, being in the stadium in those moments. Like I heard again, like I heard the wave return, it came back again.
Yeah.
Somebody just texted me and said, random question, how hard is it to play tackle football? That's a new one.
But so from watching it from the TV, like, that was probably the first time in a long time that I just seen majority burgundy and gold. I had a lot of friends who went to the game over the weekend, and I seen on the poster stuff. It's just seeing all the Washington Redskins, Commanders, football team jersey all over the place. It was a sight to see, but I truly think the biggest moment for me was I usually don't watch retirement ceremonies whatsoever. I think the last time I seen like a true ceremony was probably with Sean Taylor, because that's really the only thing we not with the past couple of years, but when we got the news that he passed away. But I felt that when they showed Daryl Green jersey, Josh Harris said, well, this should have been done. This should have been done. I think that was very touching for me, because it's like somebody that understands the assignment, understands that this team had a bunch of players who put in the work, and Daryl Green came into the city. He's one of the icons when you think about Washington football. And so that was a very touching moment, and I truly saw, and I just heard the loud applause for everybody once they pulled his jersey. And so shout out to Daryl Green, man, finally getting his jersey up in the Raptors.
Shout out to OG.
Absolutely. Dude. And also a couple folks were there too from the alumni. What up, dudes?
Shit, like 150 people there. Deacon Deuce, what up, baby? They freed you.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely cool, man. A lot of people were saying at the Legends Plaza, a lot of alumni was very welcoming and signing autographs and talking. Anthony Armstrong, he even came out to the tailgate, was walking around the tailgate, chit chatting and talking with people. I mean, he was even in the stands because he came down my section. He was just walking around. Like I don't know if the other alumni was doing that over the stadium, but it was like first quarter going into the second. He was like, "Man, I ain't even been up to my seat yet." So that was real cool to see, man. And Deron took a picture with Mike Sellers, so prayers up to him. I'm glad he's better. You know what I'm saying? So that was
I saw
good.
Chris
going.
Baker was there too.
Yeah. Yep.
Like it was a lot of people. A lot of people came back.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I hated I had to miss this today, bro. Love my babies, but golly, man. Like,
That was good. It was good weather, man. I wore like I was thinking layers. I was thinking, I might get chillier as the night went on. Man, it was like 75 degrees.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, man, I don't think so because the night before was the same, and I was out late, so I was like, it felt, you know, what I'm saying, like 70. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I definitely peeled off. But yeah, that was good. It was great day for football.
for
Great
sure,
day.
for sure. All right, man. What I missed, man?
Well,
Look at this
obviously the big
chat,
topic
man.
we all been talking about the Jayden Daniels injury. Look, I said it multiple times. If he is healthy and he is deemed healthy by the doctors and the coaching staff, you play your best player.
Yeah.
But understand this is for those people who have PTSD,
P what?
PTSD,
Okay.
PTSD, whatever that word is, bro. But look, like this is for the long term, Deuce. Like we're talking about 2024 and beyond.
Yeah.
In order for this team to become the dynasty that I know this is a big word I said in the chat, but I that's truly what you want. You want to have that team that is there every year. It starts with Jayden Daniels,
Yeah.
and I don't see them definitely trying to risk it for one game, and especially even though it's a conference game. It's not like it's a win or go home game.
Yeah. I
yeah,
think I always like Adam Peters. I think his goal is long term, right? I think he pretty much kind of embedded that in our heads, right? Long, sustainable success. I don't think they are looking at this game like we are, and I know the NFL flexed it, but at the same time, that even people say the NFL is upset. Nah, man. Like the NFL is also looking at this long term. Like the quarterback is the most important position in the league. So the NFL, if he's not ready to play, the NFL is not going to be upset that he's not playing, right? Because it's long term. Like they need these two guys to be good for at least 10, if possible, 15 years. So the NFL is not tripping if he's not going to be able to play. And if he's not 100%, do you risk it right now? No, I don't think you
Nope.
risk it right now if he's not able to play. So, it's a thing. I think it's more of a pain management thing with Jayden. Because that rib cartilage in between the bones, like it can be very painful. You know what I'm saying? Especially using this lower torso to be able to throw these passes that we're so accustomed to and using and throwing on a run. You know what I'm saying? So if he's not going to be 100%, and I know this game is very important, especially if you're talking playoffs and conference seeding and head to heads, it is very important. But there's also other games down the line that we can win by him being fully healthy. So I do agree. This is more about long term than it is short term. So I think the play will be about long term and not for Sunday.
Yeah, you're right. You said an interesting point. Like the same thing I said. Like for Adam Peters and Dan Quinn, they don't care about CBS viewership on
Mm-hmm.
Sunday. They care about having their quarterback year in and year out competing with the likes of the 49ers and the Detroit Lions in the NFC conference. So I
yeah.
think this team, this staff, this front office, they all are aligned with what is going to be best for the franchise and what is best for Jayden Daniels.
Yeah. I said it earlier, Deuce. Like if whatever his issues are, they'll work through the week. But if Jayden does end up playing Sunday, it's not going to be because of Caleb Williams or this matchup. Like because to make money, like they are, very much planning for long term. Excuse me. And if he has to miss this game so he can play the next 11 or whatever it is left, then so be it. But I mean, they're not going to play this game because it's a primetime matchup or whatever. That's the NFL's problem to deal with. Not the or CBS's problem to deal with, not the Commanders.
Yeah, I I definitely agree. And listen, like if he's not going to play, like they're still going to get the ticket sales, right? It's going to be hard to try to sell those tickets. And if you do sell them, you're going to be selling them for probably half of what you paid for them. And when it comes to the slap, people still want to see Caleb Williams, right? You know what I'm saying? And some casual people don't even know Jayden Daniels will play or not going to play, so they still going to tune in. So I think this is a big it's going to be a big story leading up because I know it's been a kind of like more hype between fan bases. Have y'all seen any like a lot of hype nationally between like these two going up against each other? I mean, there has been a lot of Jayden hype, but I haven't seen a lot of Caleb and Jayden, week 7 hype.
I've seen a little bit since Caleb kind of started to heat up a little bit. Like Caleb kind of started off a little cold. Since he started to heat up, I've seen it a little bit, but nothing like crazy, like how it was with Jayden and Lamar. I mean, like that game was built up to be a thing. Like I haven't seen it to that level with Jayden versus Caleb, but it's definitely a thing on social media. All of us are aware of what's been going on social media lately. But for like a national scale, ESPN kind of thing, I'm sure as it gets toward the week, especially if we find out Jayden's playing, like I'm sure it'll be a thing, but to certain levels. But
I think I think they would have hyped it up if Jayden was 100% playing, similar to Chicago. I mean, similar to Baltimore. I do think this is to me is a way more kind of a more applicable hype game than even the Baltimore game. You got two teams in the same conference. You have the other guy from the area, number 1 and number 2, Heisman Trophy. Like it actually counts. I mean, I feel like there's so many storylines to this game that it kind of sets itself up. Like you don't have to do anything but just say, show up. But I don't know if they're gonna hype it up as much as we would have usually, anticipated because of the injury. So they may kind of just fall back a little bit. But I think in a tradition, it's only Monday, right? So you still got 2 Monday Night Football games. So I don't know if you're gonna really hear much hype anyway until tomorrow morning, in my opinion. But we'll see if the whole Jayden thing plays out and how that goes.
I also think to your your Vegas lines, like I think what is like -1 for us right now or something.
We're +1.5, depending what you look like. We're +1.5, +2, so we're essentially underdogs.
Yeah, so because of the home field advantage. So if Wednesday comes out and he's limited, I think it's going to change. If Wednesday is limited, and then Thursday is probably limited, and I don't know when they can change the odds. Can it change all the way up to game day, or is it a certain time?
Up to kickoff. So and depending on where you bet at, sometimes you can still bet during the game, and they'll change the odds will change during the game too. But also to the original point, like in the same mode of like a RG3 and Andrew Luck and any quarterback pairing 1 and 2, like Caleb and Jayden are going to be paired together for the rest of their careers. They're going to be compared to each other, especially with them both playing in the same conference. Like they're going to be paired together for the rest of their careers. Like if we find out tomorrow that they expect Jayden to play, which we probably won't find it out tomorrow, but if we were to find out tomorrow, like I think so closer we get to Sunday, you'll see more hype kind of built up. But Jayden's injury kind of puts a little damper on that because you don't know, and it could very easily be Caleb Williams versus Marcus Mariota. It'll be the battle of number 18s or something stupid like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it's still 2 former Heisman Trophy winners, right? So
hey, you got that.
If they got signage, if they got that signage, they can still use it.
So I think with with this is kind of similar. I think the main reason we didn't see no hype around this game is because it's kind of similar with the Baltimore thing. Like the Baltimore game didn't really get no hype until everybody started seeing Jayden play. We started winning. Um,
Right.
but once the Jayden hype has increased, then they start talking about Caleb. You know, as he struggles though. Then Caleb starts to build himself up. They win a couple games. But I think there is a slight damper outside of the fact they flexed the game to 425 already. The slight damper is because of yesterday. They're still trying to wait and see, but I'm pretty sure the national networks they haven't even got a chance to talk about a game. Mostly from what I heard today, it's been about Pittsburgh, a lot of teams at AFC, but definitely once the week pick up and then we hear more about what's going on with Jayden, we'll hear more hype about it.
I mean, I think the fact they flexed the game is hype, right? Like they knew,
definitely.
They knew for sure.
I think this was zeroed in for real. Like, I think this was one of the games that they probably was going to definitely hype it. But I think even for the Ravens game, like coming out like week 3, the performance Jayden put on in Cincinnati, that really skyrocketed him. And the Ravens were still trying to get in the groove. Right. So I think the Jayden hype was kind of already there and they were kind of waiting, or Lamar didn't really start hitting on until like game 4. You know what I'm saying? Game 4 or 5 or whatever to get that hype. Same with Caleb. Like he started off slow. Like if both of those guys was really like started off hot, it would have really been a talking point leading up into their respective games. But
yeah. Dudes, they were talking about the Baltimore matchup when after we beat Arizona.
That was week 3, right?
No, week 4.
It was 4.
I thought it was because week 3 is when he had the Hall of Fame game. I thought that's really when his hype kind of took off.
Yeah, the hype took off then, but once we went on the 3-game win streak, then network
because the Ravens wasn't looking Raveny.
Yeah, they started to peep ahead. It was like watch out for that Ravens game.
Yeah.
And that was, the part of that was because Jayden and Lamar, obviously have comparable styles and all of that kind of stuff too. But like that, I feel like that game didn't really get like hype on the national level till around Tuesday. Like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know what I mean? Like Monday, what I don't remember. What was that? The Cardinals. We played Arizona before Baltimore, right?
Yes.
Yes, I feel like Monday after that game, it wasn't like as big as it was Thursday and Friday. Like by the time that weekend we were going into that weekend, it was everywhere. Like,
yep.
Whether people liked it or not, like you know what I mean, it was everywhere.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Although
it was on the
that kind of started with fans though. Yeah.
I mean, I still don't watch like the ESPNs and all that, so I don't really know how it was with national media or whatever. But like I'm sure that was like a game of the week off the break. But I will say so. So did y'all talk about the Mariota versus Driscoll thing?
We'll go back. Well, before you go there, should we talk about what Saint's comment is? AJ's comment is in the chat.
Now what AJ talking about, man? Hey, thanks for that GIF too, AJ. It's beautiful.
About Jayden playing or
no? Sorry, earlier he had one.
Which one?
The one before that. Yeah, that one.
That one.
Oh yeah. No, it ain't. It's not fractured. Nothing is broke. I think didn't Dan call it rib cartilage or something like that?
I think so.
These are cartilage.
So
that's like a little bone or tendons like in between.
It's the muscle between the ribs.
Yeah.
It's the muscle between the ribs. But like again, the only reason that I think there's still a chance that he might not play. Number one, they don't need to rush him back this early in the season. But also like to play if he was playing receiver or something, running back maybe, even though he'd be getting hit more, I would be a little more cautious. I'd be a little more optimistic. But playing quarterback, where your job is to do this all day long, like this area is very tender and it's harder for you to protect yourself. You're in a throwing motion and you get hit right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're playing a different position, I think you can kind of we can wrap him up a little bit. Pat, like he got hurt. He was wearing a flak jacket when he got hurt. You know what I mean? I just think with what a quarterback's body motions are on a regular basis, like every play, that's a lot of twisting and torquing for this area of your body to be hurt.
Yeah, every time he even handed the ball off, he was holding his ribs every single time. You know, he made the one pass to Terry, then he made the second pass to Eckler, and you know, you could tell that it bothered him, you know, somewhat. So I just think it depends on how he feels, you know, in the middle of the week. I think to AJ's point, it's not really about it's not really about broken. I think it's just about making sure he can be himself, you know, out there, whatever that means. So if he can't be the Jayden that we all know him to be, yes, no one's 100% at this point in the season probably, but everyone's able to like move in the way that they need to move to play the game and play the position. And if he can't do that, then why even play? I think that's where the argument is coming from.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think pain tolerance is the issue, because we all know creams, pills, needles, they can shoot them up and
he probably
numb
tried.
the area. Like, yeah, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? The pain portion of it, I don't think is the hang up. But again, if he can't be him for whatever reason, whether that's, you know, playing cautiously or whatever, or having to coach differently, call plays differently to protect him, I don't think you risk putting him out there. Because that in that mind, that's not Jayden being Jayden. You know what I'm saying?
I do want to point something out. I don't know if you all caught it, but at some point in my career of, you know, this broadcasting, podcasting type thing, I would love to be able to be mid-sentence and then like read a text on my watch and continue to talk as if like that's to be able to do both of those things, I think is very elite. And I just want to point that out, that I would love to be able to do that as I continue to grow in this business. Let's see. Blante, Mariota stinks for too good. I need to see just, but you're
Jeff
not. I mean, well,
Marcus.
Yeah. So I think. All right. So hold on, let me go back to saying real quick. If his ribs, like I don't think we're saying nothing was wrong with his ribs, but you got to also realize that, the painkillers for sure. They will probably do that. If he plays, if he's still having pain, if that's what he wants, I think is, you know, up to the player or whatever. But I guess everybody's kind of thinking about what happened in Los Angeles with the Chargers, and I'm like, man, look, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, like hold up, man, because it was the same. It was exactly the same thing with Tyrod Taylor, right? When they, you know, didn't do whatever they did in the right place, but they end up messing that man up. And I think also Herbert had a rib issue too, but I think his was a little more severe than Jay, because I think he actually had I don't think he had a break, but he had like a fracture or something, I think, and he was on pain, but he was kind of playing through it, and he was saying it was very discomforting even playing with that. So that's right, Kim. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Yeah, yes, man. Yeah, so if Jayden can't go, I wonder if they'll call up Sam Hartman just to be the emergency quarterback.
I think they probably have to.
Yeah. And then they'll have Mariota and Driscoll. But let's talk about Cliff and Mariota. Like when he came in the game. Did y'all talk about that at all in the beginning?
Not yet.
They said Baker 10 up the. What's the score? Oh, wait a minute.
He just threw an interception in the end zone. So that's it.
There we go.
That's it. Thank you, Kim.
We'll come back to this. We'll definitely. Yes, hit the thumbs up, people. I think I said that. So for me, I want to go after CeeLo. You go ahead, DT. I want to go after CeeLo.
So So
No, I can go before. I can go before. I can go. Adam. I mean, he makes a good point, man. You don't want to see Marcus Mariota start against the Bears D in a potential shootout. I think the Bears defense is really good from what I'm saying on paper. I haven't watched them yet. I can't wait till tomorrow to start watching them because I have, like we was talking about it earlier. There were some things that they were giving up, right? I think they gave up a +100 to multiple receivers this year. I think they gave up some 5 yards per carry to some running backs this year. So I'm definitely looking to see what their defense is really about. All right, so when Mariota first came in the game, bro, I was like, oh no.
I'll say he trash.
I was like, bro, there is no way. If the defense, look at Pops. What's up, Pops?
He was trash. Y'all know he was trash.
Thank you, Pops.
We shaking with him. He might know the Auburn veteran. But, it made me sweat.
Bro, that's right, Pops. Bro, when Marcus came in the game and he ran that quarterback, whatever that was, I was like, oh my God. And then when he threw his first pass, I was like, it's taking forever for that pass to get there, bro. Everything he threw, you thought was going to be picked.
Yep.
That's how. And somebody pointed out earlier, well, you just used to watching Jayden for the last few weeks. I'm like, bro, maybe that's what it is, but bro, I was having flashbacks. I was like, oh nah, we gonna have to lean. We gonna have to lean on the defense.
Hold on.
Bro.
So, Deuce, think about it from me and DT perspective. Like, we watching on TV, but we can't see where he's throwing the ball. Literally every time he went, like, oh my God, bro. I was
and that's the thing. Like Adam makes a great point, bro. Like, the Panthers are horrible on both sides of the ball. We took away Hubbard, and that was literally it. They are horrible. Like, people slicing 13 up, like be easy. Relax a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, foul the ball out. Like, I think you did what you were supposed to do, and you showed that you were more inferior team to this Panthers team. Like, this Panthers team is really, really bad. And we did what we were supposed to do, right? A game like this, I'm sure Jamin and 13 and those guys like, man, please, I gotta play this game. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the game that you can pad stats for. This is why another reason I was upset that Jay didn't get to play. He probably put up 400 yards. Bro.
Wait, can we get that man his name back for 1 week?
Nope. 13,
bro.
13.
So when he was throwing, I was like, yo, this pass is taking forever. I was like, young, and it especially the pass to Diami. Remember the overall Diami had? Diami had like 6 yards on that dude, bro.
Yo, if I had hair, I had hair on my head, bro, I would have pulled it out. I'm like,
bro, I'm glad they was horrible, man, because he's not like this Bears defense. From what I do know, just saying like we was talking about and saying some clips and stuff like that. These dudes is fast, and he's not gonna be able to be throwing them, man. Like even the passes to Terry on them comeback routes, I was like,
bro.
Yeah, like I was like, I don't know how he's doing it. Yeah, maybe it speeds up when it gets closer to him, or Terry's got some crazy separation. Yeah, because I'm like, it's taking forever for that football to get to that receiver. You know, like it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Man,
First part that made me laugh this season. Okay, man. So I don't. Who's Flowers? I saw he was hurt.
Someone say Flowers.
Oh, Kim. Kim
I
said
was
they
one
were
of the
yelling.
like flowers.
They were yelling. Yeah, like people myself was like, throw the ball, because he had crazy time. Like, this is what I'm saying, bro. Like, you're not going to be able to do this from what I'm understanding against the Bears. Like, he had, I think we only allowed what, 5 pressures the whole game.
He did get sacked.
Yeah, I know he got sacked, but like, because he got sacked like the first drive he was in. Wasn't it the first play or the second play?
No, the first play they called a design run.
Oh, yeah, the run. So it was the second play a sack?
Play.
It was the first drive he got a sack.
It was the first drive.
Because I think that took us 3 and out, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I don't know, bro. Like, man, but like I will say, like the back of the end zone throw was a dot. You can't take that away from him. That was a great throw, and that was definitely tight coverage. He threw one to even the one Oz dropped. That it just, I don't know, man. Like, y'all could go. It like,
I just want to talk about his scrambling in the pocket, like he was back in Oregon. He doing backflips and jump spins. It's like, bro, what is happening right now?
I said he did a spin hurdle.
I saw that. I'm like, he got to be hurt. He looked like an old man trying to do young dudes.
He like the old dude that flag football that you can't ever grab his flag, you know?
Yeah, he just looked old. He just looked old.
Oh, I don't know, but what you think about his performance, TT?
Hey man, I ain't gonna sit here and lie to y'all, bro. When that Mambatama came in the game, I was shaking in my boots. Bro. The same way you were talking about his throwing motion, it felt like I was watching. You know how like you play Madden when first time you played Madden, it was too difficult. You played freshman, and the ball speed was very slow, so you can go do your reads and stuff. It felt like I was watching freshman on Madden, bro.
He's watching the game on freshman mode.
I'm like, yo. I mean, like, I'm texting the group chat. I'm saying, like, yo, bro, this dude taking forever to throw to his reads. He had like 3 seconds in the pocket. It just shows me, like, okay, he got in a rhythm later on in the game. It didn't take until like the 2-minute warning to get in rhythm. Then he forgot, oh, yeah, I can run a little bit. But, dog, I'm going to be real. The gap from Jayden to Marcus is
a huge gap.
Huge gap, bro.
It's a huge gap.
Release, arm strength, anticipation on time, all that, man.
And we got to remember the Panthers. Did JC Horn play yesterday?
Oh, he played.
What number he with?
8.
And everybody want JC Horn, man. Y'all just be naming names, you know?
People want names that they recognize.
Yeah,
like people who don't follow as closely, and even some who do, they want names that they recognize.
Yeah.
That's why people wanted Jamal Adams. Like, are y'all crazy? Have y'all seen this dude play the last 5 years? Bro, put him at defensive end or something. He ain't covering a soul no more. Like, we already got Bobby Wagner. We don't need a worse version of Bobby Wagner right now.
So, like, talking about the Driscoll part, right? Because that's gonna be common. If Jayden can't play Sunday night, we're gonna be talking about Jeff Driscoll. I think the thing with Jeff is he's just, and he's old too. He's like 30, right? He's like 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
Driscoll, yeah. So, but I think he's a little faster. Like, he got a little more, umph in him. You know what I'm saying? But he bro.
I mean,
okay, well, we just we just need Jayden back.
Options ain't great. The options ain't great.
We just need Jayden back, man.
You just killed the algorithm, dude. So I just want you to know that. Oh, it's gone. The algorithm is cooked.
Yeah, it's cooked.
It's gone. It's gone. Yeah, man.
Yeah, the casuals, they don't, man. So like I don't know, man. Like, I think for what Cliff wants to do. Obviously, Cliff wanted him. Cliff wanted to keep him. So I do think we can still be successful, right? But it's not going to look how it usually looks because it didn't look how it usually looked Sunday. It was a whole lot of scrambling drills. It was a whole lot of running around, finding open people, having protection. He was be able to use his legs to kind of get out the pocket, so he's still able to do that. And they wasn't able to game plan for him. You know what I'm saying? So I just wonder how, and he doesn't care about running. Like he's gonna run. Like he's probably in his last year in the league, so he don't care about getting hurt on that. So you can just forget about that. He's still gonna run. So I think if we can run the ball effectively, do some play action stuff, take some shots every now and then just to keep them honest. I think he can be successful, but it's not. It's going to look ugly. It's going to look rough. It's not going to be calm at all. So,
yeah, I think that the issue or the thing that to look out for is like this offense doesn't have many variations to it. So, well, at least it seems so. Like when Marcus got in the game the other day when we sat, it was a Cleveland game where we sat JD, and then this game the offense looked the same, right? Like he was running, he's running Marcus doing RPOs, he's doing keepers, he's reading the defensive end, and I'm like, all right, Cliff, like okay, so I'm curious if Cliff is going to do anything different, or is he going to do essentially what he's been doing with JD, maybe to a little bit lesser degree, but it just feels like he's trying to kind of fit the same offense into JD's skill set or Jeff's skill set, and I'm not sure that's going to work out the same way. So I don't know, man. I'm curious if that anything changes with Cliff if he knows early in the week that JD's.
This is nasty.
So,
oh my goodness,
this is nasty.
As it pertains to Marcus and Jeff for that matter, I think you go out and get those kind of quarterbacks because if for whatever reason you can't play Jayden Daniels, you don't have to.
Mike Evans out for the rest of the game with a hamstring injury. My bad, Breeze.
Damn.
Yep.
I think you get those kind of quarterbacks that are still, mobile enough so that if for whatever reason you can't play Jayden, you don't have to necessarily change too much what you do on offense. Like we saw yesterday. Again, it was a bad team, a bad defense, but they didn't change anything with what they call Marcus. Like I said, like you said, dudes, he's running RPOs and keepers, and he's doing all of that. They're still moving the pocket. They're doing a lot of the same things. Obviously, not to the same level you would do with Jayden, but you don't really have to change anything that you do on offense. I know some teams. I've seen other teams in the past where, especially when it was more traditional to keep three quarterbacks, you would have one quarterback who would kind of mimic what your starter did, and then you have one that was completely different. So if you had to put a guy in, because your starter was hurt, then you have a guy that's doing something completely different that the other team is not prepared for. I've seen it work both ways, but I think what Cliff wants to do with the offense, I think you get those kind of quarterbacks because there's something you want to be able to keep your identity, what it is. And this is still, as we kind of understand, it's still a run first team for the most part. Jayden has been dotting people up, throwing the ball, but they still want to run the ball and have been effective running the football too.
And I don't think they change the CeeLo. Like I think they keep the offense exactly the same. It's going to look different because it's going to be Mariota out that joint looking slow. Like he ain't running 40, 50 yards down the field.
He think he can, though. He think
he
can.
I mean, if you think you can, go ahead.
You think you can?
6 or 7. Like if you give me 5 or 6 yards, I'll take it.
But even like if you think about a few weeks ago when or last week when Brian Robinson didn't play, like they didn't change the way that they call the run plays. Like most of us kind of assumed they would change it and have more outside stuff, more screens with Eckler. They kind of ran Eckler. They just kind of bumped everybody up and ran Eckler the same way they've run B-Rob in the past. Now it wasn't as effective, but they didn't really change the way that they ran the offense though. Granted, running back, quarterback, 2 different things, but they didn't really change.
And I thought they would run more nickels.
So actually,
I thought they would run the nickels more.
Exactly. I was gonna say something. I thought they actually changed it a little bit. I felt like Cliff did like maybe he didn't intentionally do this, but I feel like and not to go back to that game, but I think he kind of saw, all right, man, B Rob, is different. So let me lean on JD a little bit more. Maybe JD, like I need to lean on myself a little bit more, keep the ball. I don't know. I felt like they could have ran the ball a little more, even without B Rob. At least call it. But because we only ran like 10 times. It was weird.
No,
but,
I mean the run plays that they called the same
the
kind
type
of run
plays. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I do think that I don't know, man. Like, so the reason why Mariota, forget about preseason for a second, he did look horrible in preseason or in practice. I mean, he was horrible in practice, like horrible in a couple of practices I went to.
I mean, he looked bad against Cleveland.
That too. But the thing about Marcus that didn't work out as a number 1 overall pick or number 2 overall pick, excuse me, he was number 2, right? Is he held the ball a lot. And that was his thing. Like his thing in Tennessee, he did the RPO stuff. But when he had to, drop back and throw the football, he has like 140 sacks, in his career. Like he holds the ball a lot. He doesn't, whether he's not seeing a defense, he's not trusting defense, whatever the reasons are. Tennessee did not have a horrible offensive line because when they put in my man from Miami, they traded for, it was a totally different offense. So I just feel like that's Marcus's issue. Has always been getting rid of football on time. And that's what Jayden does really well. He's not back there being indecisive, and that's why I like Jeff better. Again, I don't know Jeff Driscoll from a hole in the wall, but it just felt like he was a little bit more like intentional and precise with his decision making. Where Marcus really thinking he's an athlete and think he can go out there and do what he wants. He's back there.
Driscoll is too, though,
all over the place, and he is too. But he just felt like he just seemed more, precise or more decisive in preseason. But
I think Mariota is so bad, and we've seen this story too many times that I'd rather watch another story that still has like 2 stars than rather watch this movie that I've seen so many times and it's horrible.
I think with Marcus they think Marcus has enough in-game experience, which he does have that over Driscoll, to where like, okay, his kind of mental and natural abilities can kind of take over, whereas Jeff Driscoll
for one game
kind of more
or
physical.
2 games.
Yeah. I think if it was most of us can agree with this. If it was a true competition for the backup quarterback, we all knew who the starter was going to be. If it was a real competition for the backup quarterback, Jeff Driscoll should be the backup quarterback. Like he was by far the second best quarterback on the team. Like there was no. I know Marcus was hurt, but with what we saw of Marcus and with what we saw of Jeff Driscoll was the second best quarterback on the team in the preseason. Now I don't know what they see in practice when we aren't there.
That's the only reason why he's still here, because I didn't think they expected for him to be that good and pick up the offense as well as he did, even though it was against what they call Walmart workers and all that. But even still, like he looked competent. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought I would think they just would have went with Hartman. You know what I mean? And then Mariota was hurt most of the summer, so I don't think he was really in their plans, but he played himself on the rosters.
By the time preseason ended, a lot of us thought that they might cut Marcus Mariota and keep Driscoll. And I mean, and the way that they paid Hartman, like they intended to keep him regardless. So like, what I'm saying? Like most of us kind of thought Jeff Driscoll had just won that. He had taken that job from Marcus Mariota. But
they paid Marcus $10 million. That's why they kept it. They kept Marcus. I think. I thought they were going to IR Marcus. We had never seen Marcus again after that injury, but he's back. So here we go.
I think another concern I have with Marcus too is just the accuracy between him and Jada is also a night and day difference. Like. Just when it comes to throwing the spots and throwing people open, we saw the first couple plays like just extremely inaccurate. And it's like if you were to play a game against the Bears where they have a good defense, like you're able to do that and get away with that because you played against a bad Panthers team. But you can't afford to miss De'Ami Brown on a curl route or big or over. Or a Terry or a Zach Ertz. Like you can't afford to miss that because that stuff comes back to bite you with a defense that's trying to at least grow week by week and have multiple possessions. So I think that's another thing that I feel like.
Okay.
I'm not saying we haven't talked about it, but like Jayden is just accurate, bro. We talked about it in training camp. We talked about it in preseason. Jayden is accurate, like on the dot, on time, all that stuff, and it's gonna be a big miss if he doesn't go on Sunday. But I personally feel like Jayden will play on Sunday.
Yeah, I think he will. I think they'll give it a go for sure. See if he can play. But if not, you know, we gotta trust in Cliff. You know what I'm saying? I think Cliff called a pretty good game, but also the receivers was able to adjust, because I know the O line was like, man, what is going on back here? Because they was back that joint blocking forever. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, a lot of them passes that he ended up completing were not in phase. There were, broken plays, Terry working back to the football, you know what I mean? Ertz trailing when Mariota's running, stuff like that. So like if you sit there and break it down and like look at the film, it wasn't as pretty as the end result was, but you know what I mean? Like, I think there's an avenue for success though. Hopefully, if it's only
if we can run
one
the
game,
ball, if we can be successful running the football, I think we'll be fine.
Which I think is what they would prefer to do, is to run the football.
Yo, even his screen passes is slow as a mother.
Yeah.
Guy out of here, bro.
I was like, bro, like got slow. But then he hype you because he completed. Everybody get okay, Mariota.
Bro, and I love Charles Davis, but he was glazing. He was like, see, we know Marcus to be the most accurate. I'm like, Charles, what are you talking about right now? Like he was just
I was tripping.
You listen to the broadcast while at the stadium, you know?
Nah, I rewatched it today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that. Listen
I was like, Charles. I'm not like Charles and like the draft stuff. I'm like, bro,
it's taking forever to get that football. Maybe it's just us. Maybe he got like a what they call it, deceptive velocity on the football or something.
I mean,
we dropped like 4 or 5 straight. Those drops, but whatever you want to call it, they could not catch that ball.
But
two of us saw it live, 2 of us saw it on TV, and CeeLo went back and saw and then watched it on TV, and we all had the same perception of what was going on the football field. I was them first 2-3 drives, I was terrified.
Hey, but real quick though, that Carolina Panthers team is so bad. It's bad. Like watching them trying to run. Like I know we got a good offensive line. I got it. I'm not taking away anything from offensive line. Cool. You cannot sit here and tell me he was back there for like 10 seconds. I mean, he was literally back there, had a wide arc around him, like half a circle. He's chilling. He's barely even moving. I'm like, this is like high school. What are we doing right now? I couldn't believe it. Man. They are bad. They like gave up on rushing the pass. So they was giving up all. And our wide receiver group had like 8 yards. I mean, it was crazy how bad
the separation was insane. It was like, throw the football, bro. I mean, even Ertz jumped off sides like 3 times. Because if you notice, Marcus had to change his cadence. Because they so used to Jayden. Like he was clapping all. Even he was like this. He was like clapping slow and everything. I was like, nah, we gotta get this dude up out of here.
Hey, but my man Ben Sinnott, what it do, Big?
Yeah,
Ben
man.
Sinnott.
You got to think about it. Like he probably works with him a lot in practice.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So he got 2 targets. They got more targets a day than he ain't got none all year. These are the first 2 targets.
First target.
He got all year. So, yeah, man. Like
first target, first touchdown.
I mean, that was a good throw too. I mean, he had some good throws, man, but
he did. Yeah, he did for sure.
I don't know, man. Like them Johnsons, man, like them Johnsons.
I was panicking.
Slow, man.
I was in here panicking.
I was like, man, everything seems like it's gonna get picked off. Yeah. Then he threw that touchdown joint on a run. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, oh. He was like, okay, everybody getting hyped. Okay, Mariota. Mariota done dialed it back. Everybody screaming, throw the ball. Because he's like that joke. Like that joke, ducking up under people and sliding and breaking tackles.
Yeah. Man, listen. Man, hey, what y'all think about this defense, though? What y'all think about this defense, though?
These are Panthers.
Oh.
I do like Fowler though, man. Like he had a heck of a game.
Fowler was balling. He was balling.
Yeah.
But like this Panthers team is like might be a historically bad football team.
I was expecting pain. Like
we should have shut them. We should have shut them out. That's how bad they were.
Yes, I was mad when they scored, bro. Like I'm watching them drive. I gotta know the game is over. But I'm watching them drive. That
you see who was out. You see, like that whole drive was like you see who was out there on that touchdown, right? Yeah. They had all the inactive players out there.
Well, you know who was there though. You know who was out there. Number 25 was out there though.
Mm-hmm.
Number 25 was out there.
Got pinned in. Him and Defoe running into each other.
Yeah.
Jamie taking the wrong angle. He not setting the edge. Chubb was just right outside. Look at these clowns. He got the inactives out there. Y'all go right back to the inactive list next week.
Kim, I think they might be worse than us last year because I think they have better players than we had, and are still a worse team. I
think they were. How many wins do they have right now? One. They beat somebody, right?
1-5. They 1-5. I forget who they beat. Was it the Raiders? Did they beat the Raiders? I forget who they beat, but.
Yeah, that they might not win another game. It depends on. I got to look at their schedule, but
yeah, they are bad. I mean, they got some good like the dude Williams in the secondary, JC, I guess. He's been playing better. I mean, they even hurt the past couple years. Yeah, I forgot they had Jatavion Sanders.
Yeah, Miles.
I did too.
Oh, Miles Sanders don't get no work.
Yeah, he ain't getting no bump yesterday. I did. They trying to trade him though, so I don't,
Yeah, I think he got one carry in the fourth quarter. If I was him, I was like, man, ain't going out there, John. He ain't giving me no work. Because I think who's coming back? Somebody coming back next week or supposed to come back. They just open. Oh, Bucky Brooks.
Man, I watched a little bit of Canales' interview. I mean, a post game press. He was like, that was a very sobering tape experience. I was like, God. Please, this is only
at the hands of the Washington football franchise. Like, this is first year, ain't it?
Oh, it's his first year. It's his first year.
First year, yeah.
Golly, it's only 6 games in.
You got a 6-year deal too. It's gonna be a long road for you, buddy.
Oh my!
Yeah, that's gonna get shortened real fast.
And the whole presser, they were like, "How about Bryce Young?" And they were like, "He's like, we just worried about next week." And he was trying to pivot.
I just knew Bryce was going to play the second half of that game.
He is so small, because he comes out like first or second out the tunnel. Bro, he looked like a little kid out there, John. I thought he's about to go run and get the field goal, John. The little
we seen the meme in training camp where he looked like a lost middle schooler. Like,
yeah. That dude's small as a mug. I think his career might be old. I don't know. Because if he couldn't get in at the half, I'm like, come on, like, how bad is this dude? Dalton threw 2 picks in the first half. He can't get in. He can't get no bump. They probably trying to trade him, but they brought him in the last drive. Yeah, because hey, Breeze, your section was bumping, bro. I ain't trying to make you feel.
Nah, I know. I heard
they was bumping, bro. We was bumping too. I don't know what's going on up there in the 300s, but. CeeLo, you might gotta make a decision next year, bro.
Are we talking about fights or we just talking about having a good time?
Oh, having a good time.
Okay.
Bro,
dude behind me, bro. Like the whole fight that I just knew these dudes behind me was about to fight like 2 rows back. Security came down like 3 times. They was just back that Joe. It was wild. I don't even know what they was really fussing about. It was like eats or something. They was back that joint. Wow. Then they was playing and they was joking and they was cussing each other out again. Man, that joint was wild.
My section is a little. I got this is the older dude. Let me chill. But like, if anybody like stand up, he's all like, sit down. I'm like, it's a football game. What are you talking about? Sit down.
Man, I legit said that to him.
I said we are at a football game. We're not at church. Apologies for church people. Like sometimes you sit down, sometimes you stand up. But like we are at a football game. Go enjoy the game in every way you need to. If you got to stand up because somebody in front of you stand up, do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Change what you gotta do, right?
Like
why are you here?
Like why are you here? Go watch at home.
Right.
My section barely sits down. Nobody ever complains.
Go get front row.
Like
my section.
Section 103.
When like breaks and stuff like that. I know the first two series after Jayden got hurt, everybody was like this.
Yeah, I believe it.
Everybody was like this.
Oh shit, man.
My whole section was.
I'm looking at the chat. Everybody panicking, including Chuck.
I was like, man, I was like, oh no,
Chuck is done. Chuck is about to jump off.
The defense was balling. Like when the defense get out there, they was hyping. They was hyping the defense.
Got a pick. Forbes.
I need to see that play. Man. I can't wait to see that play because people make it seem like he strapped him up, jumped the route.
Nah, he didn't strap him up.
Deontay Johnson, man, the dude.
When he caught it, that Jones was like that Jones. It looked like he was in the zone. It
was a bad route. At least if you believe the reaction, he should have curled it back inside. Instead, he just kind of like waited on the outside and basically dogged through it to a spot, and Forbes right there. So it was just easy. I don't think it was any spectacular play, but he needed that. So I'm happy for him.
Anything to build his
he's still number 13 though.
Yeah.
Hey man,
right.
I tried, man. If you see this, I tried, bro. I tried, you know.
Yeah,
but as somebody who led the NCAA in pick sixes to only have 2 a year and a half into your career, I mean, whatever.
Hey, though, defense balling though. Hopefully,
So do y'all just to wrap it up with defense? I mean, do y'all feel like the defense is kind of like getting better, or do you just think it's game by week different?
So I will say sometimes it's based on the matchup, but I also think there is a sense of these guys, they're starting to lock in on everything that the coaching staff is telling them that they could do better. Surprisingly, I just looked it up. The pass defense is higher now than what it was at first. Like I think it's like 11th or it's in the 11th or 15th range pass defense. Run defense still needs some work, but that was their best game Sunday. But I mean, this defense is just growing week by week. I think it'll be a little bit better this coming week once we get Dorrance Armstrong and get some pass rushers to get to the passer. But I like what I'm seeing, but I think I need to see it when they play somebody a little bit up the par in terms of offensively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think I think we had like I think we're trending. We were doing what we were supposed to do, right? I mean, even against the Ravens, right? We had a lot of opportunities. You know, I didn't think they was going to be able to get that last stop with 3 minutes left, but they did enough for the offense to score, right? That's why with this defense, I'm like, look, give me 2 stops in the first half, 3 stops in the second half. But the offense had they have to capitalize, and they didn't against the Ravens. What the first 3 or 4 possessions, we was only able to get like 3 points or something like that. Like we have to score. So and then we only lost by 7 too. You know what I'm saying? Even though the defense wasn't great in that sense, but we still only lost by 7. So I do think the defense is getting better. I think they're trending every week, but you know, it's obvious flaws that we have as far as personnel, and we're not going to be able to get over that unless they make a move at the deadline. So this is going to be who the defense is. Yeah, I mean, they did look. I mean, the Panthers were bad, but we didn't beat them by 10 points, right? Like they didn't score 20 on us. You know what I'm saying? They got that 7 in garbage time, so we shut them out and we dominated them. Like this is how you're supposed to dominate teams. Like you're supposed to beat them and shut them down, shut them out. And that's exactly what they did. So I don't like the narrative when people may say, "Oh, it was just the Panthers." Yeah, but we destroyed the Panthers.
Yeah, I agree. I think our margins of victory should speak for itself. We are really beating teams like you're not supposed to beat in the NFL. You know, NFL is tough, and so to beat teams by 30 and 40 and you know, multiple touchdowns is really, really impressive. So, I mean, that's like a team thing. If the defense can kind of keep trending this way, I think it's a good, you know, it's a good news story. Let's see what they do against Chicago. I don't think Chicago is unstoppable like offensively. They're getting better, but they're definitely not like I'm not scared of Chicago's offense necessarily. It's crazy to say that because they do have some names on paper. So I'm not saying that they're bad, but I just think that it's a good test for this defense.
To be fair, Chicago did light us up with the worst team last year, but worst offense last year. But I mean, like Deuce was saying, you know, with this team, I don't know what our finished product is going to be, right? None of us know what the finished product is going to be, but based on what we are, where we are right now, good teams beat bad teams, right? We are not just beating bad teams; we're beating them convincingly. Like we've played 3 close games all season. Like the Ravens we lost, Tampa Bay that they beat us, and then Cincinnati was close, even though the score was much closer than the actual
Giants
game
was close too.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, and we didn't score a touchdown in that game. So yeah, so I mean, I'm not worried, bro. Like this is a team that's trending upward. I'm not. I have yet outside of the first 3 series with Marcus Mariota, like I've yet to see an offensive series where I didn't think something good was going to come out of it. You know what I mean? Like I'm confident in this team right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Cliff
man.
is clicking. You know what I mean? I'm confident that if Jayden can't play, they'll have a solid game plan with whoever is on the field for at whatever position. And you know, we'll see what happens. But I'm not worried about it. Also, let me just worth mentioning, the Commanders are number 2 in the NFC period. Right now, we're ranked number 2. And I think 4 of the top 6 or 7 are NFC North teams that have yet to play each other outside of the one game yesterday. So that division is going to sort itself out. Like they're in a very good place right now.
Come on now.
Like they're in a very good position right now. And I'm, you know, yes, they played bad teams. They beat them. You know what I mean? Like I'm confident. I'm cool. I'm waiting to see, you know, what it is. I'm waiting to see where we at with it. I'm confident though. I'm not worried. I'm not tripping.
You don't drop the hat. You don't drop the hat. I don't know about that. Them dogs gotta fight each other. We stand there with the ball.
All right, you know.
All right, man.
All right, guys.
Good work.
That's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Hey, man, we appreciate all of y'all for listening. Appreciate you for watching. Your time very valuable for you to spend with us. We definitely appreciate it. Remember, do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one hop.